Good morning and welcome back. Welcome back to the one-man show for today. Unfortunately, Jose is sleeping. Well, no, he actually woke up, but today he's not going to join us. He had quite a busy afternoon/night yesterday with the Nvidia earnings report and call. So today it's just me, myself, and I for the next hour or so. So we're going to do the market open, going to talk a little bit about Nvidia, ELF, Salesforce, and well, the markets are green at the moment because the tariffs might not happen anymore, although there is more to the story than just that. First of all, good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Chet, Shay, maybe Shet. You tell me. Good morning, Josh, as well. Welcome, welcome. So, yesterday was a pretty good, I think, pretty good earnings evening with Nvidia, with ELF, with Salesforce. ELF was crazy. I just released an earnings video. ELF was down 15%, and now the time of being live, it's up 14.6% before the market opens. Pretty crazy. Hi SJ, how are you today? Let me show you. Let me show the Ricardo. Hello, welcome. Let's see if we can get ELF on the screen. I said it correct the first time. Well, now I'm happy. So, ELF, right now, as you can see, it's back above $100 pre-market. Pre-market is back above $104. After hours, that stock was actually down to around $74, believe it or not. So that's quite a big reversal. I'll explain in a bit. Why that happened. Of course, having that news that the tariffs might be overruled definitely helps a company like ELF, especially since they're negatively affected by tariffs, some concentration from China. So that helps. Plus, I do think that the major impact of the stock after hours was because of the announcement of the acquisition of Hailey Bieber's company for around $1 billion. And so as you can see, if you bought the bottom, you would be up more than double in around a month and a half or so. So Not bad. Not bad. Nvidia at the moment is up to $141. So also pretty good reaction. I do think that Salesforce, oops, come on, CRM. Salesforce is down a little bit right now. And Salesforce did not really have such a big recovery from the April bottom. Interesting. I mean, the drawdown from the highs for Salesforce, quite something. Quite something that we didn't see. So we were first down 37%. Now we're still down 25% from the highs. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today? So Salesforce could be a very interesting company to actually look at. Because right now, if I'm being honest, not that many companies that are super attractive. There are still the usual ones, right? The usual Alphabet, I think, is still priced at what is it, $172, $174. Still quite good. My PayPal as well. Maybe even AMD. What is it, 113, 15 now? Still good. Although if I zoom in a little bit, you might see it better. It does have an issue going above that 200-day moving average, as you can see. Maybe we might try again. The share screen is blurry. Is it blurry? Let's see. Strange. Hello, Sachin. How are you? Salesforce. Yeah, maybe actually let's have a look at Salesforce really quick and what actually happened during the quarter. CRM. It's only down 1.5%. So yes. So it is a little bit blurry. I agree. That is strange. Because it's not blurry on my screen, but it is blurry on the stream screen. I guess this is the streaming issue. I guess it will have to do. Maybe it's because it's zoomed in too much. What if we zoom out? But then it becomes, if we zoom out, it's better. But then it becomes a bit too small. Maybe this is a good, yeah. Maybe if I do it like this, but then it's a bit small. Then we'll have to zoom in. Oh well. Yeah, 2 days in a row. What day is it? Thursday. Today we did Wednesday. We did. I think we also did Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 3 days in a row. Maybe tomorrow will be 4 days. Who knows? But I'm happy to do it. So Salesforce. Let's just go and look at the transcript. By the way, this is on FinChat. Link is in the description if you want to try it out. Quick shout out to a great partner of the channel. So let's zoom in a bit. Okay, if I zoom in, it should be fine. First quarter revenue up 8% year over year. Subscription and support revenue up 8% as well, or 9% on a constant currency basis. So that was 9.3 billion. Current RPO up 12%. GAAP operating margin 19.8%, non-GAAP 32.3%. Still a very, very big difference between those two. Operating cash flow up 4%, and free cash flow also up 4% to $6.3 billion. That's good. $3.1 billion returned to shareholders, and data cloud and AI ARR of $1 billion. Okay, that's a new segment. I don't really follow Salesforce that closely, but that's up 120% year over year. Jose is not, should have joined today, but he decided that spending time with his family when they're on vacation is a smart thing to do, which I would agree. Which I would agree. All right, key takeaways here for Salesforce, and maybe I'll have to do it like this. So the significant growth in data cloud and AI ARR, coupled with their inclusion in a majority of top deals, highlights the increasing importance of these offerings to Salesforce growth strategy. The Agentforce product is also gaining traction with over 8,000 deals since it. Nice, not bad. Remember late last week, there was that report that came out that they're going to buy another company called Informatica. So the definitive agreement to acquire the company is a strategic move to create a more complete intelligent AI and data platform. While the acquisition is not expected to impact fiscal 26, it signals a long-term commitment to strengthening Salesforce's position in the AI and data space. Maybe I'll try and find the Salesforce acquisitions, because they've done quite a lot of those over the years. And this is maybe without Slack, but that should be fine. Let's see, maybe this. Non plus. Okay, this should be fine. Should give you a good enough understanding of the Salesforce strategy. So this is basically what Salesforce has been doing for a long time, acquiring companies to grow. Of course, after Click Software, you have the Slack acquisition. So this is basically what has been happening with Salesforce. They're acquiring quite a lot of companies. After this, you add Slack, and now I guess Informatica as well. So yeah, this is a company that definitely acquires to grow, but it seems to make sense for them. It seems to make sense for them at the moment, of course. He is on holiday, but sometimes the stock market and live streams are more important. Although, I mean, if we do it early in the morning, then he still has the whole day to enjoy, I guess. But yesterday he had a long, well, too long. We streamed yesterday before the market closed for Nvidia previews and something else, Marvel. If in case you were wondering, we also talked about Marvel, and then he had a long stream during the Nvidia earnings, and I was watching football, or as you call it, soccer, although that doesn't make much sense, but okay. Currency tailwinds. So the weakening of the US dollar is expected to provide a currency tailwind, which has been incorporated into the updated fiscal year 26 guidance. Remember, a couple of months ago, the US dollar was a headwind. And as I've said time and time again, this will turn into a tailwind as the US dollar gets weaker. As for guidance, Salesforce has initiated second quarter fiscal year 26 revenue guidance of $10.11 to $10.16 billion. So again, approximately the same growth rates, 8 to 9%. As for the full year, same thing, 8 to 9% or 8% on a constant currency basis to 41 to $41.3 billion for the full year. And yeah, again, no guidance, no impact of the acquisition. It's expected to close in early fiscal 2027. So yeah, right now, I mean, trailing PE is not cheap. Forward one is, of course, a bit cheaper than that. It's not a high growth company. It's a company that's expected to grow 8 to 9% revenue wise. EPS growing a little bit faster than that, but it is a very profitable company. Free cash flow margin of 32.8%. So not bad, but not cheap, right? A PEG ratio of 4.6 is definitely not on the cheap side of things. we look a little bit at how they generate revenue. So we've got total platform, total subscription, and that should make up. Oops. So yeah, not bad. I'd say not bad. Total platform other revenue increased by 145% since January 2020. So that grew at a compound annual growth rate of 18.6%. Total subscriptions, same time period, 14.5%. Let's actually look at the last, let's call it 2 years. Maybe that's better. Still 2 years double digit growth, CAGR. So not bad. Not bad. Margin wise, actually now free cash flow wise, let's look at free cash flow. You see. Let's look at free cash flow. Up. And this is, yeah, okay. Free cash flow over the years. Maybe that's even better over the last, let's call it 4 years, and then let's see what the market expects. So in fiscal 26, which is the fiscal year they're in right now, free cash was expected to grow 8.1% after it grew 30.9% last fiscal year. But as you can see, it's expected to grow free cash flow 13.1, 13.4% in the upcoming 2 fiscal years. So that's pretty good. That's good. They buy back shares. Of course, this allows them also to acquire companies. So yeah, I mean, it's a good company. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good company. It's a good company, but it's not a super high growth company that grows 20-30% or so now in this AI age or something like that. Over the past 5 years, it's up 55%, so still good. The last 3 years, 69%. Last 12 months, it's flat. So you got a growing company over the last 12 months, and the price of the stock has not changed. Should be viewed as a good thing if you were interested in Salesforce. And maybe I'll include it in the stocks for June video. Yeah, maybe good idea. Moving on to, actually, wait, let's first check ALZN. What's that? No, way too small. Way too small of a company. AST Space Mobile, yeah, I've been covering, I mean, I talked about it a bit more recently. At what time would think, I don't know. To be honest, because I have a position in Rocket Lab, I am in no hurry to add any other space company to the portfolio, because I do think that Rocket Lab offers me the best exposure possible to the space economy or space future. Plus, with the recent acquisitions, always expanding their total addressable market. So I'm fine with that. I think I still have time with AST. I mean, it's already a company that's worth a couple of billions before really generating revenue. So there's a lot baked in. Of course, if it's successful, like I said in the past, in the other video, if it's successful, it will generate plenty of, billions of revenue and free cash flow. So I'll have time. To see what I want to do with that. Soccer was used by the posh kids at Eton, just like rugger, for rugby. Yeah, but you see, rugger for rugby makes sense. Like football makes sense because you use your foot and a ball. Football NFL does not make sense because although sometimes you kick it, it's not really a ball. It's like it's an egg. Most of the time, it's you throw it with your hands. So, but thank you. It was an amazing. Amazing evening yesterday. Finally, we are back in the Champions League, and at least we won a trophy. So that's that. Nvidia is up 5.6%. Good earnings report. Gaming was much better than expected. Not just from my expectations, but from the analyst expectations as well. much better. Data center came in a bit on the weaker side, but yeah, they're still doing well. There is that, of course, China impact that we've talked about in yesterday's video. So here as well, we can look at that. Where is it? Let me just ask, what did they say about the China impact? I mean, to be honest, again, I cannot say to be honest too many times because someone already said I said it too many times. So AI, all this chat technology, let's say, the one great thing that it really did for us investors is exactly what I'm showing you here on the screen. It makes my life and probably your life much simpler as an investor, right? Because right now I can have an AI summary, I can ask questions, I don't have to go through the whole transcript, right? I just asked, what did they say about the China impact? And I get my answers. So, yeah, so they did say the US government's new exports control on H20 effectively ended Nvidia's Hopper data center business in China. The company was unable to ship $2.5 billion in H20 revenue in Q1. And of course, you have to add on top of that that they recognized $4.6 billion in H20 revenue in Q1 prior to April 9th, but also took a $4.5 billion charge related to inventory write-downs. So you add 4.5, 2.5, that's $7 billion. That's, of course, why you see a big difference between GAAP and non-GAAP margins. Losing access to the China AI accelerator market estimated to be nearly $50 billion. It's expected to have a material adverse impact on Nvidia's business. This loss is anticipated to benefit foreign competitors within China and globally. This is something that we've talked about time and time again, right? If you want the West and specifically the United States and US tech companies to be leading, you do not want to lose the Chinese market. Jensen said over half of the AI researchers are in China. So you do not want to lose half of those. So it makes sense. He was pissed, right? You can hear it in his voice. He was pissed. He already talked about it, I think, with President Trump. The AI diffusion rule is no more. So that's already something good. But we still need more clarification on the exports control going forward, not just for Nvidia, but for AMD and all the other semiconductor players. Do I think yes, but it's not like we are seeing, well, no, we are seeing a lot of super expensive companies, especially in the, yes, even in the space segment, in the quantum realm, lots of smaller AI companies as well. Yes, those are very, very expensive and a lot of them don't make sense at all. But on the flip side, you have a lot of quality companies that, yes, have recovered a lot over the past month or so. Well, since the bottom in April. But I wouldn't call them super expensive, right? Before, I'd call them very cheap at the start of April. But right now, I wouldn't call them very expensive. It's true that the market might be due for a little cool off, but I mean, I don't mind, right? I don't mind. There, for my portfolio specifically, there are plenty of stocks, for example, especially in the financial space. SoFi, of course, has rebounded 40% since the lows in April, but we're still down from the 18% at the start of the year. Same with PayPal, was 90, now we're back in the 70s. Was cheap before, it's cheap today. But yeah, markets have gone from extreme fear to maybe some greed. Plus, there still is plenty of money on the side. That doesn't mean that the money has to come in. It's just saying that there is plenty of money that still is on the sidelines. What if I put myself here? Maybe that's better. Let's actually look at Nbis. What do you think Nbis will end up at the end of the year? I'm super bullish. I think we have another growth spur coming soon. Yeah, they did make a couple of announcements more recently. The new hires, I would say, that shows me that they're going to continue to accelerate growth worldwide with a focus also on inference. Like Jensen said yesterday, inference is up, tenfold. I think with Nbis AI Studio, I think that's one way to monetize that growth. So although I'm already up significantly on my Nbis position, it's still not big enough for me to be happy with my allocation. So I wouldn't mind a pullback. If it doesn't happen, then I'll just add at higher prices and my average will be a bit higher. Big deal. Because I still think that this is still flying under the radar, although we've been talking about this in January. I still think it's flying under the radar. It's under $10 billion in market cap. It's playing in a market that's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, if not more. I'm not saying it's going to take the whole market, but if you can generate tens of billions of dollars in revenue and have a business model where your margins are quite high, yeah, I can see this being a multi-bagger for me in the long-term future. Do I think it can go to 50? Yes. Do I think it should go to 50 as soon as possible? No. So as long as they do what they should be doing, if the stock remains cheap, that's fine by me. It's a best case scenario, right? I see $100 end of week. I mean, end of week is tomorrow. So end of week is tomorrow. But yeah, I'd love it to be at 100 at the end of the year, but that would mean that I'll sell probably because it should not be at 100 unless, of course, suddenly ARR is $3 billion and not $1 billion. But I also don't think that, what is this? I also don't think that that will happen. I'm in no rush. That's the thing with price targets. Usually when people say, oh, this needs to be at 300 or whatever. Okay, do you want it to be at 300 so you could sell? Or do you think that still it's fair value at 300? Because if it's supposed to be 300 and you should sell, yeah, then you don't really want to own this for the long-term future. You just want the short-term big increase. Yeah, also Nvidia Europe event next month. Actually, Jensen is going to Europe already next week, if I remember correctly. I do think that they're coming to Belgium as well, if I remember. And there is, yes, GTC Paris at VivaTech June 11, which is funny because it's one day before AMD's AI event. So, yeah, sneaky one from Jensen. Did I cover AMD? No, I did not. Well, I did in yesterday's video, but not today. AMD is up 2.5%. Nothing new. I mean, nothing new. I already said everything I needed to say, but maybe I'll correct myself twice already. So Amazon has a position in AMD because AMD acquired ZT System and Amazon had a position in ZT System. So they basically switched to holding AMD. I'm very excited about the AI event for AMD. I do think that they're going to talk about the MI350. Introduce the MI350. And hopefully they also announce new partners, big hyperscalers and all of that. It's weird no one talks about CoreWeave compared to Nbis, but it 3x. Correct, but we do talk about CoreWeave a lot, especially when Jose is here. We do talk a lot about CoreWeave. And it did 3x. I do think that this is a bit crazy, but for those of you that did buy and buy the IPO and even bought the lows, congrats. I wish I'd bought just a speculative position in the lows. Of course, hindsight is 2020. Now that I know it's up, but one thing I will say, I should have bought Robinhood in April at $30 because I've been bullish on Robinhood. I had a position in Robinhood super early, and to be honest, again with the to be honest, maybe I'll lie, maybe I'm lying. Who knows? I should have bought back into Robinhood at 30 because this was a no-brainer. and it gave me the opportunity to reopen a position, and maybe, again, hindsight 2020, just for that short-term swing, because it was an overreaction, what we've seen in April, have, because my position in PayPal is quite big, so maybe take a small chunk of that position, put in Robinhood, let it do what it should be doing, and then maybe just let it ride. Um, but yeah, hindsight 2020. So didn't happen. We'll see what happens in the future. Let's see what the markets are doing at the moment. The pre-market. So Europe seems to be rewards found. I don't want to buy anything. Okay. Europe was, I think, greener than this previously. Pre-market US was also greener. I think yesterday, when there was that announcement, I think the Dow was up 400 points. Now it's green, but we've seen better. The Nasdaq is up 1.3%, so that's good. So that's good. What about the euro dollar? 113. Okay. 10-year 4.46. I assume the 20-year is going to be at 5, still 5, maybe 490. Would be great if they showed me that, but no problemo. The 20 sits at 498. Okay. Close enough. Close enough. Let's see what else we got. HIMS. HIMS is at $53, $54. Did touch on that 20-day moving average. Nice little rebound there. New is still under 13, still. So that's very interesting. Maybe that's also an interesting pick. New holdings. Because it did go under the 200, but then rebounded. So, okay. Very, very good company. Very good company. Palantir is back at $125. What's our SoFi doing today? I mean, SoFi got hit on tariffs despite it not really being affected by tariffs. And yet, when we have that positive news on, oh, there might not be any tariffs, it does not react positively. Cannot win with this one. Cannot win with this one. Although, like I said, it is up quite significantly from the April lows. So there is that, but we're still far from the $18 we've seen earlier this year. Actually, now I can maybe make this a bit larger. Voila. Yeah, this is much better. Much better. Novo Nordisk, yeah. Novo Nordisk did also rebound a little bit. My magic lines actually worked this time. We were at 20, now we're dropping a little bit, but that's fine. This is, by the way, weekly candles, not daily or a minute or something like that, just so you know. Yeah, no, I know. SoFi got hit from no rate cuts, but when the tariffs got announced, it got hit as well, right? We went under $10. My phone rings. Uno momento. Okay, I've got some insider trading information for you all. Just kidding. This was my grandmother. She was not feeling well, so I had to take her to the doctor, and now she's back. Everything is fine. So less stress, less pressure on me right now. So we're good to go. We're good. We're good to go. She did not give me any trading tips, but she does make very good food. Anyways, what I've just seen for the last couple of minutes is that a lot of stocks are in a sort of cup and handle pattern, right? You have the cup here for Oklo, for example. Maybe there's a handle coming up. Remains to be seen. Who else had that same thing? Robinhood. Robinhood is up 117% since the lows here as well. A nice little cup pattern, maybe a handle, maybe not. I mean, to me, I'm not going to say. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind a little retracement. I wouldn't mind a little retracement. The problem is that if even if Robinhood retraces, then I'm probably sure that SoFi will retrace more than what it recovered, and then the same maybe even for Advanced Money Destroyer. Yes, good news. Good news indeed. Good news indeed. Markets are about to open in 3 minutes, so we'll watch that. We'll see what happens. What did we talk about before? Novo Nordisk. Yeah, Novo Nordisk. Novo Nordisk is still cheap. Yeah, Novo Nordisk is still cheap. I'm not going to include it again in the June video because then I'll just repeat the same 4 names that I did a month ago. Novo Nordisk is still cheap. We're still waiting for who the CEO is going to be. So I think that could be crucial for the company to start reaccelerating, for the stock to rebound as well. So Novo Nordisk is still cheap. I still think that SoFi is cheap or fairly priced, but again, I'm not going to bore you with the same thing time and time again. The Tempus guys, the Tempus Nancy Pelosi pick, I mean, we did talk a little bit about it, like really, really top line overview of what the short report was all about. I'll have to dig a little bit deeper and see what's happening, but a little retracement here of 25% or so is nice. But remember, the stock also here doubled since the April lows. High risk, high reward type of company, I'd say. Let me pull up already the heat map in case market opens. So Tempus, what else is cheap-ish? I'd say Micron maybe is still cheap. They're yet to report earnings. They did also have a nice recovery. We're trying to make our way back to $100. So Micron still cheap. If HBM, of course, continues to grow rapidly, there are no supply chain issues. And I mean, you're just going to need more memory. You're just going to need more HBM. Markets are opening. So we're here. We're here for that. It's going to take a couple of seconds probably for everything to load up, but the markets are open in the United States. Pre-market, everything was green. It was greener during the night, and now it is green as well. It is green as well. It's going to take a couple of seconds for everything to like update or refresh. Voila. So Nvidia still up 5.5%. You've got here Microsoft, Meta, and Google, let's say, up 1% or so. Palantir up 1.28% to $125. I do believe they announced partnerships each and every week. They announced a new one yesterday and 2 days ago as well. Ooh, Salesforce is down 4.5%. So, okay, so that's definitely going into the video for sure. AMD up 2.3%. probably on the fact that Nvidia reported good earnings plus the tariff story. Now let's put me right here. Amazon 1.6 to $208. Nice recovery. Tesla continues to go up, probably because Gary Black sold. An anticipation for the robotaxi rollout, let's say. Micron Micron earnings is in June, mid June maybe. No, end of June. June 25th. June 25th is Micron earnings. So yeah, we have almost a month time until that one. They report very late, or you might say they report very early, because a month after they report, we're back into the next earnings season. Look who woke up. Look who woke up. Jose is waking up. And look at this. We are green. Wonderful. Maybe it's because you're not here. Uber free falling, probably because of the rollout of a potential Tesla robotaxi stuff. But that doesn't make any sense. Now I'm trying to find Uber. Where is it? Free falling. It's down 1 point. Oh no, that's for the week. Oops. 2%. Down 2% today, and down a couple of percent more from the peak here, all-time highs. Okay, we're now on that 20-day moving average. We'll see. We'll see if that holds. We'll see if that holds. What about ELF? Ooh, wow. Yeah, ELF has a nice. ELF is up 28% today. 28%, crazy. I mean, this one. Now, if we go and look, if you really timed it well, you timed the bottom, you would be up 127% on a makeup company in a month and a half. Not too bad, right? And yet here we're talking about chip stocks, AI stocks, and stuff like that. While it's simple, women like makeup, so you buy. Simple, very simple, actually. Why overcomplicate stuff, Jose? Why do we overcomplicate stuff? We are chasing the Nvidias and the AI, whatever. No, the money is in makeup. The money is in women, actually. That's actually a money-making machine if you are a business. If you're a wallet, it might be a money-losing machine, but still think ELF is a buy. I mean, could if they continue to accelerate. I mean, if the acquisition definitely accelerates their growth, margins get better, they diversify from China, could be very successful in the future. Let's see what we've got. Nvidia up 6.3% right now. Woohoo, wonderful. Salesforce down close to 6%. AMD giving back a little bit of its gains, but not much. Let's see what other news we've got for the day. I did have to do something real quick here, but oh well. Yes, they bought Justin Bieber's wife, Hailey Bieber's company, Rode, for $1 billion. It's $800 million plus another 200 if growth continues, the potential for the next 3 years. And it's not that expensive. I mean, if it can continue to grow super quickly, I believe the last 12 months sales were, what did I read and say in my video? $212 million in sales and growing rapidly. If they can double that, triple that in the coming years, that $800 million in acquisition makes sense. Makes sense to me. Plus, the products that Rode, the Hailey Bieber company sells are more expensive, are between 18 to 30 something dollars compared to on average $6.5 for ELF. So margin wise, better as well. So not bad at all. Let me finish up this real quick. But in the meantime, we have also US GDP for Q1. So the second estimate for US Q1 GDP was revised to a slightly smaller decline, negative 0.2% quarter over quarter versus the negative 0.3%. Aha. So a bit better. But then again, the formula for GDP also gets impacted by this whole tariff story. So yeah, you have to take all of that into consideration, of course. At what price would you consider increasing your... no, I mean, if I get mid-60s, of course. But mid-60s would mean that it gets hit quite hard. I wouldn't even mind mid-70s, to be honest. Oops, said it again. Mid-70s, because it is already big-ish position right now. In the public portfolio, it's number 4 already. I'm up 32%. So yeah, I'd say mid-70s I'll start adding again. But as we've seen, if I want a certain price and it is much lower than the price we're at right now, the only way we will reach those prices is if all the rest is coming down as well. So it will depend, right? Because Uber is already a more established company and position in my portfolio. And so if everything comes down again, I would probably be adding to something like a Nbis, right? If Nbis goes back to 30s or maybe even below, who knows, then I'll increase my Nbis position. But yeah, if somehow I get Uber mid 60s, I will add it for sure. What do I think about autonomous driving stocks like WeRide and Pony AI? Well, I think that I have exposure to all of that through Uber. Uber has partnerships with those, maybe even indirect, maybe investments in one of those, I believe. Nvidia has one. Let me double check that. In WeRide, maybe, or maybe it had. Let's see. See, if Jose was here, he could have told me already. Yes, Nvidia has. So Nvidia has, and what about Uber? But that's not that's an updated one or not? I know Uber has partnerships with those companies. I don't know if they have strategic investments in those companies. That's a difference. That's the difference. And the same thing with Grab, by the way. I have indirect exposure to Grab through Uber, so I'm less inclined to open up a new position for the sake of opening up a new position. And the same with actually ASTS, right? AST Space Mobile. Since now Google has a position in that, so I guess I'm indirectly a shareholder as well. What's happening to Hood? Hopefully it's crashing down, but I highly doubt it. Huh. Down 1.3%. Why? I mean, when you're up 100% in a matter of a month and a half, then yeah, a little pullback of a 1%, no big deal. No big deal. What have we? Maybe let me check actually if there is maybe some specific news. Though, so the thing with Robinhood is it would add another fintech position to my portfolio, and I have already enough. Right, I have SoFi, I have PayPal, I have Mercado Libre, which has Mercado Pago, which I think will be a huge success in Latin America, which is also why I don't have new holdings anymore. So if I add an extra company, it would have to be a company that gets me exposure to something that I don't have. Yes, Hood and SoFi and whatever are not the same thing, but it's in the fintech sector. Yes, it has a higher beta than SoFi and PayPal, clearly, as we've seen. But I'm not chasing right now. I don't need it. And I would much rather add new at $10 than Robinhood, just because I like the exposure to Latin America, diversifying a little bit more. Tesla's latest news appeared to be bearish for Uber. Yeah, that was what they said late last year as well. And since then, Uber stock is up more than 45% or so. Cash flows are up, revenues are up. So I'm still waiting for how bearish it will actually be. Every time they launch with Waymo gets very good results, better than expected. Uber has been making partnerships all around the world when it comes to autonomous vehicles. So, yeah, the markets might react negatively because of the headlines right now, but in my eyes, I still think that Uber will do very well in the future. And if it does impact the business negatively, I think I have time to notice that. But right now, that is not the case. Nvidia still up 6%. Salesforce down 6% now as well. Under 260. Yeah, getting interesting actually. Getting interesting on the Salesforce side of things. Very interesting. Do some of you actually own Salesforce, or maybe might be interested in Salesforce right now? Because I still think it's a wonderful business. Now, is it a wonderful price? Debatable. Debatable. Okay, so Robinhood launched Legend in the UK. Legend is their, yeah, basically what you're seeing here on the screen. Trading overview platform, whatever you want to call it. But I don't see why it should be down. Yeah, it's down 1.4%. Big deal. SoFi is down, of course, also 1%, because why would it be green? Why would it be green? Let's see what happens in the overall market. Okay, so we're having some profit taking here. So some profit taking, some selling. Microsoft, Google, Meta were on average up 1%. Now they're up 0.5%. We've got more red here at the bottom left. Netflix, red, down 2%. Palantir is now down as well. Salesforce is down. Nvidia still up 5.8%. AMD still up 1.6%. And then the rest are basically flattish. Tesla still up 2% as well. So yeah, I guess, I mean, the markets opened. What is this? Markets were maybe a bit too. They were cheering a bit too soon, let's say, when they heard the tariff story, because again, this is not set in stone. This is not set in stone. Might come back. Plus, I do still think that I do still think that the most important part is to make sure that you have trade deals announced. Because once you have the trade deals announced, it doesn't matter what the headline is going to say about tariffs, right? Once we have, okay, you have the UK, but once you have Europe, India, Japan, South Korea, China, Vietnam, for example, you don't care anymore about, oh, tariff this, tariff that. No, you got your trade deals, and we move on. So yeah, I'm still expecting volatility, and as I've shown you, plenty of charts. Plenty of charts are showing like a cup, and maybe the handle is coming. Maybe, right? A little pullback wouldn't be the end of the world after the huge rally that we've had over the last couple of weeks. If not, then not. I had a damn advert, but do you have any thoughts on Recursion Pharmaceuticals? Always looking at who Nvidia has partnership with. It's RXRX, right? No, you did not miss the answer. I don't really follow it. I know that Nvidia had a position, or maybe still has. I think it had. Let's see. And that's why it went up a lot, I think last year or so. Yeah, it still has a position in Recursion. Okay. So this is RXRX right now. It's down quite a lot. I guess it's one of those buy a small chunk and forget, right? It's a high risk, high reward if it works out. Still too early to say. Yeah, I mean, the fact that Nvidia has a position in it, okay, cool, but for Nvidia, it's nothing, right? To invest a couple of millions here and there, for them, it's nothing. Same thing I said about SoundHound. Like, just because Nvidia had a position in SoundHound didn't make much sense. It's a company that, yes, did grow fast through acquisitions, was still losing tons of money. And then Nvidia sold their position, and suddenly, oh, the thesis has changed. No, the thesis remains the same. It's just that Nvidia does not have them in the 13F anymore in their portfolio. But yeah, I don't know much about Recursion, to be honest. Did that on purpose. Why is Uber tanking? Because of the Elon Musk post about Tesla full self-driving happening in June without a driver in the driver's seat, apparently. That's why Uber is down even more. 4.6% was down much less than that, but it does seem like the market is pulling back a little bit more. A little bit more. Why are people messaging me right now? So let's go back to the heat map and see. Okay. I mean, again, flattish. Unless you're Nvidia, of course. Then not. Then not. Trying to see if there's something. No, nothing. Tesla got approval actually in California. Yeah, but that was a while back already. No, that news came out not today. That was a while back. And again, cool, but we already have Waymo. And even with Waymo existing, and Waymo themselves actually said, Uber said it as well, with the Uber partnership, they're seeing much better results. Can you talk about Oklo? I have nothing to say about Oklo because too early to say, right? Could be very good in the future. Everything nuclear could be great in the future, just like quantum. It can be great in the future. It's just that right now, so much has been baked in already. Um, so much is baked into the price before they actually generate a lot of revenue. Plus, small modular reactors, I mean, everything neutral has to go through so many permits, so much regulation. It takes time. Okay, it takes time for those things to actually become reality. Yes, there is a lot of hype. Yes, the stock has gone up tremendously, but should those companies be worth billions of dollars already today? I don't think so. I mean, Oklo is worth $7.6 billion today. It's a bit much, no? I think it's a bit much for a company that generates. We'll see. We'll see how much they generate. They definitely lose money, that's for sure. And they don't generate anything. So, again, do you want to pay billions of dollars for a company that don't generate a dollar? Probably not, right? Probably not. I know that once they start, then they'll generate a lot. Okay, but once that happens, I'll have time. Plus, I'm pretty sure that the price you're paying right now already assumes that they're going to generate a couple of dollars in the future. Could you please quickly look at NPI? There's no recent TA videos on it, and it pays very healthy monthly dividends. NPI? This one? Or another company? Let me know which one it is. Nasdaq, Innovative Pharmaceutical and Biotech, or something else. As soon as you go, Neil, some amazing news to pump and down. Yes, maybe that's the message. Maybe I should go. I think I'll stick for another 6 minutes or so on the TSX. So this one. One thing I'm wondering about is ETF better for cybersecurity? Yeah. I mean, it's the same. I'll give the same answer for cybersecurity than I'll give for semiconductors, or even I think there is a Van Eck quantum computing ETF as well. It's if you don't want to pick a player, just buy the ETF, right? Because the ETF will just give you exposure to everything. And if that basket, of course, you have to look at the concentration of the ETF because, for example, with semiconductors, you have plenty of ETFs. Just have to choose the one that you want, one that has higher exposure in Nvidia or equal exposure, higher exposure in Broadcom or less. So it's up to you. Cybersecurity, same thing. If you don't want to pick one winner, then buy a basket and you can sleep well at night. Of course, the performance might not be the best, right? Because if you have more exposure in, I don't know, an Octa or an Zscaler or whatever, but CrowdStrike on its own outperforms, then of course your ETF will not perform as well as just CrowdStrike. Same as owning just Nvidia or owning an ETF with Nvidia in it. But then again, you don't have to compare yourself to other stocks, you compare yourself to the market. NPI. NPI. Let's see what it is. Northland Power. Northland Power. By the way, anyone from Montana watching the stream? If so, let me know because I really want to go. to Montana. What did I want to do? Yeah, Northland Power. An independent power producer develops, builds, and owns and operates clean and green power projects in North America, Europe, and LATAM, and Asia. $5.3 billion Canadian dollar, that is. Stock has not performed well over the past 5 years at all. Revenue-wise, is not expected to grow that much. EPS much better. Margins are fine. Dividend yield of 6%. Interesting. Yeah. 4 PE, 13.5. Okay. Yeah. Grows quickly. PEG ratio 0.7. Let's see. Let's have a look at the charts. So revenue has grown over the past 10 years at a compound annual growth rate of 13%. And let's see what's expected in the upcoming years. Okay. It's not expected to grow that much revenue-wise. Not that much revenue-wise, but what about free cash flow? I see. We see a big decline in this fiscal year, 25, and then an increase in the upcoming 2. Okay. Interesting. What was the ticker? NPI. Let's see. NPI. Let's see what has happened over the past, let's call it 5 years. Okay, so over the past 5 years, revenue, what is it in dollars? Let's put local currency. So I guess this was the problem, right? Gross profit margin comes down. Free cash flow margin went down and now is recovering a little bit. Okay. Let's remove this. Let's put CapEx here. So yeah, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. CapEx did increase quite a lot. It's decreasing now. Free cash flow margin becoming a bit better. Let me see. Let me first see. Let's do it like this. Okay, so PE wise, we are basically where we should be. Let's look at forward over the past 5 to 6 years. Forward were much lower than the average, because I guess there were some times where the E basically disappeared. Okay. Interesting. Let's see if we can get the revenue per employee. No, we cannot. Let's see. So it's not. I guess every time they have projects or something like that, they take a hit. Because this looks good, and then bam, you go down, you go back up, you go back down, and then we're here stable. Problem is that you usually want to have predictable businesses, right? Lisa is in Minnesota. It is beautiful. Minnesota. Let's look at some nature stuff in Minnesota. Ah, yeah, it's next to the Dakotas. Yeah, there's some very nice places there. Very nice places. Just want to go to Montana just because of Yellowstone, the TV show. Powderhorn. Wow. The ski place. But apparently it's closed. Temporarily closed. Oh, what a shame. Powderhorn. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So, Northland looks cheap. Looks like the bottom line is going to be doing better. Margins are fine, but I guess this is a thing that works also in cycles, because as I've just seen, like it's not that stable. But the dividend is nice. The company produces electricity for renewable resources such as wind, solar, or hydropower. Uh-huh. I'll take a couple of more and then I'll have to go eat because I am starving. Berry Calabout. I eat Calabout chocolates here. Very good chocolates. So they manufacture and sell cacao, of course, and chocolate products. And here as well, it has come down over the past couple of years, probably because of the prices of cacao going up quite significantly, actually. But this one is expected to grow a bit faster revenue-wise for the upcoming 2 years. EPS not so much. Margins, free cash flow, horrible. Yeah. I'd rather just buy the chocolates. But I'll show you another company. What's the name? No, not the name, the ticker. Lotus Bakeries. So this is a Belgian company. You know Lotus, the speculoos cookies? Look at the performance of the stock. Now let's put the last, since 2010. Stock is up 2,118%. Crazy. Let's say okay margins. It is expensive. But I'll show you here as well. Look. Whoop. Selling cookies. Nice little cookies. Still expected to continue to grow. Like this is a compound, compounding at 12.3%. Not bad. Especially because West Africa, right, is the same thing with Hershey's. They had issues. Well, not issues. The price just went up significantly. Jack, my pleasure. I don't know if I was that helpful, but my pleasure. Montana is amazing. We drove through a few years ago. Yeah, I mean, one day I'll do a full road trip through the US. I've been to the West Coast. I've been to the East Coast. I've been Chicago, Cleveland. So I'd say up north. I've been to Florida. Haven't been to Texas. I've been to Colorado, to Denver, but only a weekend. So I really want to go like inside the United States. Like the Midwest is probably amazing. Maybe spend some time also in Texas. But yeah, it will have to be a big road trip. Maybe the Route 66 from one side to side. That's the goal. Anyways, this can go. Uber is down 5%. Yeah, so it seems like the market is pulling back. It seems like the market is pulling back a little bit. Clorox, maybe you might have seen it, but I am looking at it. It does look interesting because it seems like they are doing very well, but the stock does not reflect that, and maybe there is a reason for it. Um, I don't know. But over the past 5 years, stock is down 36%. Yet, from what I've seen, the business is doing better than just being down 36%. And Sagik, thank you on the congrats to Chelsea. Almost forgot that one. So yeah, I'll have to look into Clorox a little bit more. It was also one of those stocks that I might include in the video for tomorrow or the day after that. So we'll see. We'll see. But enough looking at stock prices. That doesn't really change much. Businesses don't change every single day and every single second. So now I'll go eat, enjoy the day. You too. Maybe we'll go tomorrow. I'll have to ask Jose if he wants to do a stream tomorrow. But if not, we will be back. Actually, we'll be back Monday. But I'll be back on your feed on YouTube every single day with videos. So First Solar, last question here from Russell. First Solar, it's if you want exposure to solar, I think this is one where it's a bit safer than an Enphase. Less volatile for sure, less of an impact from the credits as well. So it's a pretty good one and very cheap, I think. So anyways, that's all I've got for you right now. Thank you all for joining, and I'll see you all in the next video or in the next live stream, which is Monday morning. So bye-bye and have a great early weekend. It is already an early weekend here because nobody's working today in Belgium.